And that man there taking charge of his 122nd championship game is George Clancy, assisted by Rhys Jones and Ben Whitehouse. Tonight's television match official is Ollie Hodges of the Irish Rugby Football Union. I'm pleased to say, after all the introduction, there's only two more to do, and that is Mr. Ian Goff and Matthew Rhys, former Wales internationals, who keep me warm in the commentary box.
Good evening, man.
Well, I think we've got a bit of a game on our hands here. Conditions are pretty good. Pitch, as you mentioned in the preamble, is standing up well, and it makes for hopefully an entertaining game of open running rugby.
Yeah, it's just a bit of early sparring there. The Dragons kick long. Benetton kick towards the halfway line there, but they've just they've secured position, and right from the start the intent is there. They go against a very tough, abrasive sort of Benetton pack as well, so they really have to work hard to make a dent in them.
Basham early, hands on the ball, as is Williams and Bodicott. And Ashton Hewitt popping up in midfield. Good to see him back on the pitch and firing on all cylinders. Lovely little offload into the hands of Reynolds. As mentioned, making his first Pro 14 start. Lovely dancing feet from scrum half Williams. But the referee has called it back. Well, great intent from the Dragons.
Yeah, definitely. Robbie Williams doing what he does best, just sniping around that ruck. But I think it's forward pass there. No.
So they give him Reynolds. He had a good line there, didn't he? So Faber gave him a good little pass.
Shepherd on the ref, I think, is it?
Right, the ref, he should know to get out of the way at that point.
But
Roger Williams is so sharp, though. He is quite hard to get out of the way of. But good interplay by the front row forwards. Yeah, that's good confidence early in the game for them.
Well, as all you front rowers have your own secrets, that's something that you look for a gap where the referee is. There's always one. The Australians are the best of that. There's always a little gap around it. But good from that man there, Josh Reynolds. Got his hands on the ball early. And this
all the way,
will be a
like
big,
we spoke
big
about.
test for the front row of Reynolds, Ship and Fairbrother.
Yeah, there's one area the Dragons need to get right tonight after a tough out in against the Cheetahs last week, and I'm pretty sure Treviso will be licking the lips here.
Set.
Nice blind side to work with for Williams, but Benetton do mark that up with two players.
And your shoulders need to be up.
Keatley just standing left.
Good patience.
With the imposing figure of left winger Monty Ioane. Referee George Clancy on the far side now, just wanting to see exactly what's going on in that front row.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Williams to feed. Solid enough. Taken up by Dixon. Ball behind the Bodicott. Little nudge through from Talbot Davis. Immediately pumped back downfield. Bodicott will cover. Has Williams inside him if required, but outside half takes responsibility himself. Well, it's drifted infield, and it will be Luca Sperandillo, full of running against the Blues a couple of weeks ago. Also plays on the wing, so no shortage of gas from the fullback.
Don't put him in three.
Trussardi from the base. Expect to see a lot of this. Playing a direct route.
Use it!
Slow ball. Use it as the call from referee Clancy. Trussardi perhaps not as much distance as he'd like on that ball. Nonetheless, it is Benetton who retain possession. Ioane flicks it back infield. Such a dangerous runner. Trussardi finds another runner, and it is that Dragons line out of the blocks very quickly. Keatley pulls it back. There's a little bit of space here. Into the hands of Esposito. Over the top, back inside, then to Rutsa. Back into the hands of Sperandillo, and it will be the fullback who will open the scoring for the visitors. Exactly what Benetton Rugby wanted. They came out of the blocks against Cardiff Blues a couple of weeks ago, and they've done just that, scoring a try in less than 5 minutes here at Rodney Parade.
Yeah, we predicted a big forward battle, me and Matthew Rhys and Smiler downstairs, and that was some lovely interplay. You know, the conditions are dry, and they went down this right-hand flank and showed some, good skill. They beat defenders, they kept the ball alive. They dragged the Dragons defenders in and created the overlap and almost under the post. So fantastic opening try by Benetton here.
Yeah, it's not often you see Ashton Hewitt get done on the outside there, but in fairness, Treviso done well to finish that off.
All good, Judge. All good.
Well, I say we have a very good record here at Rodney Parade. Not so much in terms of playing away from home, but on this ground, 3 of the last 4. And it will be Ian Keighley, captain for the evening, top point scorer for Benetton. Will have the opportunity to add the extra points. Well, meat and drink for an outside half of his ability, and the Irish international adds the extra points, and it's an excellent start for the Italian visitors.
Yeah, it was a well-worked try. Great offload, the cat flap offload and down the wings. The players were getting beaten. They dragged the Dragons' defence. They'll have to have a bit of a chat about that because they went out of system there, and it was a perfectly avoidable try. But you've got to take your hat off to Benetton there. They took that really well.
Deep kick again from the Dragons. Well fielded by Choa Alafi. A dynamic runner. Trusardi again will take responsibility from the base. Again, plenty of height on it, and it's his half-back partner, Keighley, this time. Takes that ball out of the night sky. Herbst, second row, but plays first receiver. But it's a good steal in the middle by Ollie Griffiths. However, turned back over by Benetton. Quaglio, front rower, just takes it to ground. Keighley. Benetton looking to spread again. Flick out the back door from Halafi.
Back on, scrum, black ball.
But it was great play in midfield by Ollie Griffiths.
Yeah, you can see that Benetton have come here to play. Unfortunate there with a knock-on, but the intent is there early on from Benetton.
It's that little cat flap pass. It's not a very readable pass, and it's sort of stung the Dragons a little bit in defence. They weren't expecting it, and they are looking to play. Ollie Griffiths and co sort of had a good turnover in midfield, and then just sort of spilt it. We were expecting a knock on, but the ball was live and playing. So they're spreading it to these wings, and it's not just a forward-dominated game plan by the teams tonight.
Benetton have a very lively back row. Get around the pitch, Lamaro, Alafi, and Ruzza. And when you throw in the likes of Sperandio at fullback, Esposito and Ioane on the wings, he's certainly not afraid to keep the ball in hand and run.
So there's been a few resets so far in the scrums, but the last scrum that went live, the Dragons ball, it was a nice solid scrum, no messing about. It wasn't no twisting, no turning, no personal battles seemed to be going on. They'd be very happy with that. Again, we don't want to see a lot of resets tonight, so I'm sure Clancy will be on top of that. But if we see the same sort of skirmishing effort as the Dragons put in their first scrum, then they'll get a lot of confidence from it.
I will bow to both of your superior knowledges.
I just put my head in the back. I didn't know what I was doing. You boys did all the technical stuff.
Well, frustration for the Dragons. Clancy, short arm free kick.
There you go,
Keighley, and I would imagine
early engaged by Black.
this is just going to go straight up in the air. Old-fashioned kick and chase. Williams comes in, takes it unopposed. Well, bit of a waste, really. Good play from the Dragons captain, though. Diffuses that situation, taking the ball out of the air very, very comfortably. Dragons build again through Griffiths. Williams back in position now. Scrum half.
Use it!
Pulls it back, puts it on to his right foot, kicks into the box. Keighley is underneath it and does well, takes it and immediately offloads. And there is space down this blind side. Oh, it's been spilt once again, though, on this near side by Angelo Esposito. That's a couple of times now he's scored. They're looking a little bit nervous on this right wing after some very good play. They often say that you should always run back from where the ball has been kicked because there's space there, and that man did just that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an over chase there as well, wasn't it, in defence? And I think he tried to make his mark. I think Ashton Hewitt tried to make his mark on Keatley, and it went straight back down that channel. But the early signs, whether they're doing it intentionally, but Benetton are putting these box kicks up in the air, but they're not going the full distance. So the backfield, I think Roger Williams did a great job there of covering up. They're dropping in amongst the forward zone, and it's catching everyone a little bit unaware. So whether it's unintentional or it's a tactic tonight, we'll have to see as the game goes on.
Bind! Set!
Another scrum. Referee seemingly happy with this. Williams just checks with the referee and feeds the scrum at the feet of Griffiths. To his scrum half, to Boddicker. Boddicker off to Talbot Davis. A little bit of width now. Rosser on that far side scored the all-important try against the Cheetahs, which gave the Dragons a very, very hard-fought victory. Well, plenty of endeavour there, but perhaps skills not quite spot on.
Just the execution, they go wide off for the initial scrum. Well, obviously just the force
so you're just off to the
out of
left.
there by, I think it was Dixon into touch.
Yeah, Rosser,
I just get you
they
two
worked
and two.
Rosser one-on-one. What I like to see there, they worked the passes out there. And Rosser one-on-one, took on his man and made good ground. He sort of really got through this. So, again, the last bit of the execution, which they'll be frustrated with because it was good play going into that. But, good sign from Rosser there.
Good hands from Trussardi. Bouncing ball, scrum half dealt with that very well. And it's Keatley pushing the ball downfield to Rosser. Right foot. Well, that's skewed off the side of the boot, and they'll come all the way back to 5 metres outside the 22. Really, from nothing, Benetton have gained 30 or 40 metres.
Just unforced errors at the moment, Dan, isn't it? Pass into touch and obviously kick outside the 22 straight into touch. So it's just giving that opportunity for territory and possession for Benetton now.
I think that's where you find it. The experienced players almost need to sort of metaphorically put their foot on the ball and just say, well, okay, we've conceded a try, let's not panic here.
Line it over.
Benetton, under the guidance of scrum half Charlie Trussardi.
He's legal, through the middle, he's legal.
Tries to get that ball out, little dart. Well, it's been pinched, and it is,
Offside,
well, I was going to say it was Basham on his way, deemed to have been offside at that more. The interesting one to look at.
Number 7
he scores tries, whether that was whether he had the legs in him for a good sort of 70-80 metre try there, but he called it very early. He was repeatedly calling it, but he just drifted offside by the looks of it. Got in the way of the pass, which was great, but if he'd have just held a half a yard worth of depth there, then all of a sudden the Dragons were in a good position. But it gives Benetton and Keatley a nice little kick straight into the corner. We've seen what their driving lineouts are like this year, man.
Yeah, that's where most of their tries come from, if I'm honest with you. But again, that's where they put that pressure, and time and time again they keep on coming and coming. And it'll be interesting to see what the Dragons do here. I should imagine they probably stay down.
Well, it shows the intent of Benetton. Opportunity spurned to go for 3 points. They're looking for 5. Rutzer takes it at the front. They set. Thomas Baravale, the hooker, is in there. Keatley adds his weight, as does Trussardi, still edging towards that Dragons line.
Still moving.
It drops down, they're still going over the line, and you have to say they took the chance, went for the corner, and it is another try for the visitors. As you said, Matthew, very well worked. You knew what was coming, very difficult to stop if it's done properly, and they chalk up a second try in less than 15 minutes.
Yeah, and obviously the added weight to the backs come in and finish it off, in fairness to them. But typical Benetton, opportunity to go for 3 points, but no, they back themselves going for the corner, and another try on the board for them.
Even Keatley put his 6.5 stone in there as well, Matt. But it was again, they weren't going wide. I think there were 2 players in the outfield. Everybody piled in there, and it was only when they were going, they managed to break through, and they fractioned off, and I think it was only Rodri Williams and one other there to try and defend that. But very clinical. The Dragons knew what they were going to do and still couldn't stop it. They really have to show a bit of resolve here. Not long gone on the clock, and Benetton are looking pretty much in control here.
Well, Benetton, having had 60% of the possession. Not only that, with that extra 2 points, they've had 100% of the points, and it is Dragons 0, Benetton Rugby 14.
Yeah, I think he just dropped that ball over the post with about an inch to spare. It wasn't, it didn't go sailing through, it just plopped over. So, you know, they've really sort of made the most of the ball they've had here, been very clinical, a great try out wide and a drive and line out try. So, you know, this should be a big game. Dragons really got to step up now.
Deep kick again from the Dragons. Bodicka finds number 8 Toa Halafihi. Sardi finds his hooker and try scorer Thomas Baravali. And again, responsibility is left to Charlie Trussardi, the scrum half. Puts the ball towards this near touchline, gets it over there, and they're more than happy with that. 2 tries, 2 conversions, and just edge their way up the pitch again.
Treviso,
you want Dragons' mistakes that have put them in the position to score that, especially that driving line out try. I think it was Jared Rosser just gave them the opportunity, and the first line out goes away at the Dragons. They're under a lot of pressure though.
Well, talking of pressure, it was Rodri Williams, scragged by Ila Snyman. Arm out from the referee, playing advantage, but the Dragons captain did very well. Didn't force the pass. Bodicka, well, the move was right. There was a little bit of space in behind that Benetton three-quarter line, but they will go back. I think it's actually knock-on advantage as opposed to a penalty advantage.
Oh.
Yeah, just at the line out.
Yeah, it was good defence. He really got in. I think it was Matthew Screech's eye line there. Left arm, really searching across that line out, which is hard for hard for the hooker. It gets in the hooker's head, but especially for the second row. If he sees an arm waving in front of him, it can take a bit of attention off Rodri Williams.
Yeah, I agree.
Had to tidy it up there, but it puts another scrum with the Dragons. The last
we
couple,
need more stability before the ball
they had a sort of free kick given away against them the last scrum, but you know, they need to concentrate every scrum because you know, easy penalties in this will give Benetton good field position, and that's what they don't want to set any more driving lineouts up.
Boy, you could see the second rows always like that when they have opportunity to drag a scrum. You never did that. That's a better result for the Dragons, though, at that scrimmage.
There's a hinge.
Smiler?
Yeah, I think they're
Number 1?
number 1 there, Quinglago, is hinging there, I think, and in fairness, it's a good return for the Dragons and opted to go for 3 points.
Yeah, we see Lloyd Fairbrother. He's been in and around this squad for quite a few years now, but that was a good penalty. It was his side that came through, and he's the daddy of this front row at the moment, and the veteran, if you want. He's probably only about 27 still, Lloyd, but he's a good bloke, a Cornish bloke, and he has been around here, and he really adds to this squad here. And that's a great penalty for him. He'll get a lot of confidence, big smile on his face.
I think he's played about 124 games, and we were talking earlier, he tends to play 80 minutes, which is unheard
it's
of.
unheard of these days for
most
front row, isn't it? Yeah,
the union will be onto that.
You know me looking across 50, 60 minutes, looking for the sub to come on.
Typical. Front row, half a game again. Bodicka, big moment for the outside half. That's a solid strike. That's exactly what he needs as an individual on his first Pro 14 start, and also what the Dragons needed as well. Get some points on the board. Very, very assured kick from the outside half.
Lovely to get his first points on the board, his first start. You know, the Dragons, they can stop making mistakes, stop giving the ball away, stop giving position away, and then they can sort of, you know, they can make their play show. They can get the ball in his hands. You know, the scrums have been solid so far. They had a penalty work from the last one. So there's an area that we thought they might struggle a bit, or they'd be under a lot of pressure, but let's see what else they can do now. They need possession, and they need some territory to launch something from.
Keatley goes deep, finds Williams, and does exactly what he needs to do as a captain. Leads by example, clears the danger from his own 22, and reinforces the 3 points that his outside half has just kicked.
Black.
Yeah, the pitch has had a little bit of a hammering over the last while. It's cut up in certain areas here, but you know, nobody seems to be slipping so far. I don't want to sort of put a hex on it, but we're seeing bare patches, but it looks like a fast-ish track tonight, and they are putting the ball around.
Front ball, Trussardi thought about it.
Back.
But it was Basham who just got in the way, stopped the scrum half from passing. Hewitt does well, takes the ball going forward, brought down by Zanna. Crowd not happy with that. Thought that was a little bit high. Referee agrees.
High tackle.
And Hewitt did very well. Spotted the danger, came off his wing, stepped in, cleared the danger.
Yeah, it was good, because I think he almost collided with Keddy there. I think it was a good bit of communication to make sure he claimed it, but yeah, he got taken just above the Adam's apple on that one, and it took about 50 or 60 of the Dragons faithful in the stand there to sort of make Clancy aware that what was going on, and it's given the Dragons a lovely opportunity now inside the 22. The last line out was tapped down, it was a bit messy with good defence, but let's see what the Dragons come up with now.
Ship goes along, well, it's been lost. Back. And then it's Baravalle. Well, a little bit of hot potato there. Trussardi won't thank anyone for that. Underneath his own post, scrum half does well. Goes to ground, looks for support.
Stay now.
They need someone in now to play scrum half. Benetton goes short. Just create another platform. Baravalle stands over that. Keatley is there, but leaves it for the tradesman, Trussardi. He'll have to find his outside half this time, and it is the Irishman off that right foot, and that is a very, very good clearance kick indeed. And having been under a little bit of pressure, they clear their lines reasonably comfortably.
Sorry. A bit off the ball stuff there, I think, with Basham. Not quite sure what happened, but
speak to him as well.
linesman's picked something up.
You let us control the game, not you. I will control it. You need better discipline.
Seven. He's just having a little talking to from the referee.
Off the ball. Continue with the game.
Dragons go again. Ship under a little bit of pressure, does well, finds his jumper. Now, first Dragons drive with intent. Now the Ship on the ball, under the guidance from Williams. And they need do no more.
Offside defenders.
They go up to the edge of the 16-yard box.
Forward. They didn't come forward. No.
We saw, that was the backs had crept up. I think they encroached. He called that penalty quite early. The Dragons were maybe starting to nudge. They were sort of edging their way infield a little bit rather than going too far forward. But he called the penalty. I thought he may have played a little bit of advantage and seen if anything happened from that driving more. But I think Bodder could be happy. The last kick was about 45 metres away on the left-hand touchline, but now he's got an easier one. He can curl this in one like a free kick maybe in a football pitch. Yeah,
a lot better from the Dragons there. The initial setup, nice and low, working hard infield. I think say Goffey, I thought the referee blew up a bit early there, but here we go, another chance for 3 points for Boddiger.
Well, it was certainly a very, very assured kick first time out from his own 10-metre line. This one slight and closer, but there are no easy kicks. Bisects the uprights, adds another 3 points to both his and the Dragons' total, and the home team are slowly paying themselves back into this one.
Yeah, a few line-outs there, Matt. The first one tapped. They've had big defence put up against them. Benetton have put in pressure up, but I think Joe Davis took that one there. A lot of movement, but that should settle them. It actually gave them a platform, and from that platform they've managed to score points. So exactly what they want.
And that's what the Dragons need to win their own set piece, and if they can, then they've got a backline that can get them into this game.
Well, scruffy restart, but it is Will Talbot Davis. Does well, big hoik downfield, doesn't quite find touch. Keatley happy to play the territorial game, middle of the pitch. Bouncing ball, Boddiger.
Bring him on. 2, stop! Okay, now.
Well, good covering from the Dragons. Excellent positioning. Fullback Will Talbot Davis downfield. Benetton. Fine touch by the boot of Luca Sperandio.
Yeah, a bit of aerial ping pong there, and the Dragons be happy with that now. Another opportunity, attacking line out just inside Benetton's half.
Yeah, seemed to be going nowhere there, didn't they? Seemed a little bit aimless. The kick seemed a bit long, too much in the midfield. But Treviso make the mistake, Benetton make the mistake, and it gives the Dragons a ball right on the 10-yard line here. Let's see what they can do.
Well, sometimes it's about keeping your composure and not blinking first, and that's what the Dragons did. However, couldn't capitalise, having lost the line out. Ball on that far side into the hands of the powerful Monty Ioane. Front foot stuff from Benetton. Flat ball into midfield. Trussardi finds one of the try scorers in the shape of Thomas Paravali, the hooker. Slow ball again. Trussardi goes short, finds Quaglio. There, brother. Doing his best to stop that one and wins his side a penalty. Holding on at the base, and again, just playing themselves back into it, winning the penalties, creating opportunities and giving themselves a chance to narrow the gap.
Now, what will they do here? They give the ball to Rodney Williams. Broderick is stepping up. Is this in his range? They kick the 45-metre when this was just to the right.
He's got the range for this.
The first two kicks have been very solid, very sort of accurate, solidly kicked. It's it's great to get him in the game, and the Dragons are starting to grow more into this game. What they've got to do is try and get an edge on their set piece, because another line out lost. That's quite a few earlier on there. They're under pressure every line out. Good defence by Benetton.
Yeah, it's an area which obviously they struggled with last week against the Cheetahs, but they need to make sure, even if it's just bank the ball, go into that front just to get the ball and get a possession.
Well, he has struck the ball exceptionally well from the kick and tee this evening. Longest effort to date. Same routine. Same strike. Oh, off the upright. Well, certainly had the legs and the height. Very, very unfortunate there. Ball still in play. Tolbert Davis. Little dink over the top. Well, bounces kindly into the hands of Michele Lamaro. Trussardi under pressure, fires one out to Snyman.
Not held, player, not held.
Not held is the call from the referee. Well, the greatest of defence from the Dragons as Benetton via Ioane get over the advantage line. That could be a very, very good kick from Keatley. Well, the bounce of the rugby ball is a cruel mistress, but it favours Benetton on that occasion.
Yeah, it's just the way only favours can turn. It's a very solidly struck penalty off the upright. Also the mistake by Tower Davis, the charge down, it puts Benetton in a good position here.
Shipped as well, finds his jumper. Nothing complicated, sensible play close to his own line. Griffiths comes in just to secure possession. Takes it back to his captain, who again more than happy to clear his lines, take it some 10 metres from their own 22 and ease themselves away from danger.
Yeah, after a shaky start, the Dragons are starting to put some stuff together. You know, they're starting to put some. If they can cut the mistakes down,
just step off the
a
mark,
little
please.
bit more quality set-piece ball, they'll have something to launch from. But it looks like a feeling throughout the Dragons team here that they are into this game, even though they've let slip those first two tries.
Back ball eventually won under pressure though. Keatley dancing feet from the outside half. He's found a gap. Big gap as well. He has support, comes in the shape of Rutsa, the open side. Still going, inside ball then, looking for their third try. Excellent defence from the Dragons. Well, Will Tolbert Davis had to put his body on the line along with Lloyd Fairbrother, but you have to say Keatley was given so much room there. Really didn't deserve that amount of space.
He opened him up like a tin of tomatoes, he used to say back in Swansea. The gap just opened, the Red Seas parted, and off he went. I thought he was going to go all the way.
Back to 10 now.
Well, no challenge from Benetton at all. Eventually they do engage.
Well,
I have to say, the Dragons will be more than happy with that. They win the line out, they win possession, and Williams will look to clear the lines again. That's a very, very good clearance kick from the captain and scrum half. But Keatley Dancing feet, but really, talk us through it.
Yeah, he just comes back down the blind side then. It just really opens up. He's found this, he's at the gap through the line out and flings a pass. I don't think the pass was just quite in front enough for him to take it clean and give him the full get of the line. But great defence. I think Talbot Davis came across and really good defence to push him in just inches short into the corner there.
Well, you have to say fair, brother.
Hang on.
Played a large part in that defensive effort, stopping the move created
take a step forward.
by Keatley. A little bit of Morris dancing, but eventually comes down to Trussardi. And again, like his outside half partner, he's given a little bit more respect.
Just don't move your body, stay there.
Makes a couple of meters that possibly he shouldn't be making. Griffiths in on Baravale. Keatley feigned a wide pass and then just offloaded into midfield. Trussardi. Big hit coming in on outside of Keatley. Trussardi goes blind, little dart. Didn't offload.
Ball came out.
Warren makes the tackle. Good hands from Keatley. Slightly relaxed attitude from the Benetton players.
Stay back.
Second rower, Snyman takes it on. Trussardi is again there as his Keatley looks up. Space, just finds grass before the touchline into the Dragons 22 once again, and it is Benetton on the front foot.
Yeah, Trussardi's been a real live wire so far in this game, but the Dragons have got to be careful. They're flooding through the line out. They're trying to put lots of pressure on the scrum half's pass, but they're leaving massive gaps as well. So you've got to be careful that Trussardi doesn't exploit that.
Not straight is the call from the referee,
Captain.
right on the spot.
Captain, scrum or line out?
Yeah, no compete there either, was it? Just an unforced error, not straight, and gives
Time out,
Benetton an excellent field position now to attack again.
Well, there you can see just drifting off that 22. Makes it easier for the referee when he has a line to mark. But they will be pleased with the start, as will that man there, Kieran Crowley. Marco Bortolami alongside him, the former Italian second row. They started very well against Cardiff Blues a couple of weeks ago, and they've done just that again. Well, hopefully that man with the bobble hat, Hibbard, will be back soon in the next few weeks, imparting a little bit of advice.
On the last one, your shoulder was too
Filling
low.
the role of water boy this evening. I'm sure that supporters and coaching staff will look forward to when he's back on the pitch in earnest.
Yeah, he's a top competitor, Hibbard. He's very abrasive. The crowd loves him as well. He really he does put a lot into the shirt when he's playing as well. Lloyd Pearbrother went down a little bit injured there. He had to have some treatment, his shoulder, I think, and he was twisting his neck around as well, so he took a little bit of a pinch. So let's see how he fares in this scrum. Scrum's been pretty good so far.
Well, Angelo Esposito stands directly behind the Benetton scrum, but Ashton Hewitt cannot leave his post
Gone down, we'll have it again.
on the Dragons' left wing. He's guarding that blind side. He's got about 15 metres to cover,
Yeah,
but with the likes of
well.
Toa Halafihi, number 8, and Charlie Trussardi, they will be eyeing up that blind side. That man there is very dangerous with ball in hand. 2 tries against the Blues, one of which gave Benetton a bonus point.
Yeah, they were going for a second nudge there by the looks of it. They were really trying to squeeze the Dragons. They're going to keep them honest. They're going to keep their background, the Keddies and the Tame Bashams down in the Ollie Griffiths, down in this scrum, really make them sort of push there, and then the gap should open. They should have one-on-ones, or they should have space somewhere. So this could be route one. They're not in any hurry. They're in the right area. Let's see how they try and squeeze the Dragons on this and how the Dragons react.
Trussardi flees. Well, good shot from the Dragons have done enough to put off Alafihi at the base and negate anything that the strong running number 8 can do. Benetton regroup a couple of metres back from where they started. Trussardi thought about picking it up, but it's picked up and driven through by the heavy mob. From the base they go again.
Advantage.
Well, call coming into the referee.
Number 3, no arm tackle.
No arm tackle coming from Lloyd Fairbrother, and this surely will give Benetton the
Number
opportunity
3, no arm
of
tackle.
a relatively straightforward 3 points to get the scoreboard ticking over again.
Shot calls.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cheap penalty there, Matthew, isn't it? You know, he's a great player. He's so low as well, Lloyd Fairbrother. He's a good tackler, but you know, they've taken a heavy mob. They've got someone latched onto him as well, and he's just gone down by the looks of it, folded himself in. But it's, you know, it's tough when they've got a latcher on as well. You're facing, you know, 30-40 stone coming at you. So he's just mistimed it a little bit after having a shoulder bang about 3 minutes before.
Yeah, disappointed there. Benetton not really going anywhere, just a slow ball play, pick and goes, and then resulting in an opportunity for Keighley to put 3 points on the board.
Well, it's the sort of thing you want to do every time you want to get into the opposition half. You want to come away with something. And Benetton have certainly done that in this first half. Another 3 points from the boot of outside half and captain Ian Keighley. And it is now Dragon 6, Benetton Rugby 17.
They weren't made to work too hard for that, which is the shame. You know, you want teams to work really hard for the points they get. You know, it was a good scrum with the Dragons. I'll throw it to you there. Keddy made a great tackle on Halafihi at the end. What do you make of that scrum, mate?
Yeah, it was a lot better from the Dragons. I think that Reynolds need to stay square on that one because a lot of pressure was going over to the tight there with Fairbrother. So it'll be interesting to see how the next one goes.
Well, Benetton more than happy to deal with the restart and just push it downfield. Screech took the ball first time up. Big bump in midfield. Well, a little bit of obstruction, and you well, Ashton Hewitt, I'm not sure if he made the decision for the referee there.
Yeah, do you know what? I think the referee might have been a bit hard. Now he's right on the spot. He couldn't have been in a better spot, but he seemed to realise that he was going to, you know, he's going to run an obstruction behind his own player. Seemed to double back and come back the other way. I've seen those let go, you know, in the spirit of the game. But the referee made his mind up very quickly. Give the penalty. You could see Hewitt was gutted because he realised the mistake, but you know, he's just been caught on the wrong side there. He tried to rectify it, but just got pinged.
Yeah, just frustrating from a Dragons point of view though. Another unforced error, isn't it? And this has cost them points this first half.
Well, it's a big hit coming in initially on Griffith. Well, in fair, you can say that was a player between Toa Halafihi and Ashton Hewitt. So to the letter of the law, referee is spot on.
Wait until he hits the ground.
Well, big opportunity now for Benetton to finish this first half the way they started it. Back ball over that 15-metre line, so the defensive line can come up. Trussardi organising again, dragging his players out. Both second rows come out, but they're missed into the hands of Esposito. On the front foot now. Tackle is made by Botica. Trussardi, wide pass. Well, defensive line from the Dragons still stands firm. Good support coming from Arabs. Second row getting involved again. Fairbrother, they're told in no uncertain terms to leave it. As Snyman takes it on. Keddy.
Use it!
Well, it's slow ball. Federico Ruzza, the open side for Benetton, takes it on. Well, you wonder, will Keighley drop back into the pocket, look for a drop goal, 3 points?
Use it!
Tight they go. Trussardi just pointing out exactly where he wants his forwards to stand. A little bit of width now from the scrum half. Not his best pass in the first half. Finds the explosive Ioane. Well, Trussardi now part of the ruck. Benetton start again, metre by metre.
Away.
Just inside the Dragons 22 now. All hands on deck from the Dragons. They'll be keen to keep Benetton out.
Use it!
Yeah, they need to stay disciplined in this area of the field. Don't need to overcommit the ruck time. Benetton not going anywhere. Just sneaky picks here, keeping it tight with their forwards, using their strength.
Well, it's about discipline now from the Dragons. It's not giving a penalty away, it's listening to the referee. Keatley dinks it over the top. Well, it's about the bounce. That should be seen over the dead ball line by fullback Will Talbot-Davis.
Yeah, some good discipline there from the Dragons. They've actually edged Benetton back out of their 22 metre, and hopefully now they can exit well here.
Well, he'd say almost a moral victory to the Dragons, forcing outside half Keatley to kick. Turn the ball over, and it will be the Dragons via outside half Jacob Bottica. Put the ball deep, he does that. Luca Sperandio, high ball from the fullback. Well, it's fullback on fullback, and that has been knocked back by Sperandio. Is that a little knock on in midfield? No, says the referee. Lamaro gets away with it. Trussardi from the base. Well, it's probably been the best 10 minutes of the game for the Dragons. Edge their way from their own try line when they're under a little bit of pressure. Now into the Benetton half, forcing scrum half Trussardi to go to the box and the aerial route. Very well taken out of the air indeed. Williams. Oh, Screech, lovely offload. And that's great pace coming from Reynolds. Well, the front row is superb and a lovely offload. What a try, scrum half. And captain Rodri Williams, well, you have to credit Screech in the first instance. Electric play from front rower Josh Reynolds on his Guinness Pro 14 first start. And what a way to finish the half. It was Benetton opening the scoring with an early try, and it'll be the Dragons ending the half with a late try.
Yeah, it was a nice tip off Screech to Reynolds, and in fairness, I don't think he's ever run that far in a game before, but great support play by Rodri Williams, and there's only one thing he's going to do, finish that try off under the sticks.
Well, as
again, that pressure has just come from the defence of the Dragons, and the man who's been leading that line speed is Tane Basham again, forcing an error, end up gathering the kick, and a lovely little tip pass off for Screech to Reynolds, and Williams finishes it off nicely.
Well, Bottica, assured as he has been with the rest of his kicks, adds the extra points. And it has been a very, very good first half. Couple of tries from the visitors, opened in less than 5 minutes from fullback Sperandio. Another try coming from Baravale, but the Dragons have dragged themselves back into this game. Late try from Williams, extra points from Bottica. It is 17 points to 13 in favour of the visitors. Well, welcome back to Rodney Parade for the Dragons against Benetton Rugby, and it was the visitors who came out of the blocks flying with an early try from fullback Luca Sperandio. The half finished though with the Dragons having a little bit of a comeback, and it was their captain Rodri Williams who scored a late try. We start again at Dragons 13, Benetton Rugby 17. Couple of changes made at half-time for the Dragons. Welsh international Elliot Dee released from the Welsh squad, started on the bench and will replace Elip Ship. And in fairness, Ship had a very good first half. His individual skills were very good, but when you have some of the experience of Dee on the bench, you bring him on. And also a change for Benetton. The impressive Charlie Trussardi leaves the field of play, replaced by Luca Petrozzi at scrum half for the visitors. Oh, a lovely little offload on that blind side, really against the run of play, into the hands of Esposito, and he evades couple of weaker tackles from the Dragon, and it is Benetton who start the second half exactly the way they started the game.
Well, that was an obscene try. He just, every time you thought he was going to get caught and brought down, he seemed to just accelerate and get out of it. But what a finish that was. That really has, after the Dragons going in so positively at half-time. That's just what they didn't want, but Esposito, what a try that was.
Oh, good judge.
Well, a couple of tackles that really have hung off. And you have to say, Angelo Esposito did very, very well indeed. It's a lovely little offload. Hewitt forced inside, does his best to stop him. Well, I think the Dragons players around don't react. Esposito knew exactly where that line was, goes over for the visitors' third try, and really from nothing, they open up a 9-point gap with an opportunity to make it 11.
They'll be very disappointed with that defensive effort, the Dragons. They had multiple chances to stop that try. Some poor tackles just falling off there, and these are the type of tackles you need to be making to stay in that game. Aaron Jarvis just said that they need to be within a score going into the last 5-10 minutes, and you don't want to be giving away tries, soft tries as well, but very well taken. You've got to take your hat off to him.
Well, 14 missed tackles in the game so far, a couple on that occasion, and certainly has harmed the Dragons' effort, especially the way they finished the first half. I have to still credit Matthew Screech and front rower Josh Reynolds. That was excellent play to create the try for Rhodri Williams.
Stay at the back, scrum half.
Deep to throw in to the line out. Well, a slight overthrow, and it is. Petrozzi nudges it through. Straight foot race now, should be won by Hewitt. It's all about the bounce of the ball. Dragons winger does exceptionally well under pressure. Fasadi in close attendance.
No, back you come. Offside.
Well, you have to say the composure
Offside
there from Ashton Hewitt was very, very good indeed, because the Dragons were under a huge amount of pressure, and another score at that stage could have been very, very damaging indeed.
Yeah, Dragons got the jail yet, haven't they? Again, error at the line-out and overthrow there by D this time, and unfortunate not to score the try, but in fairness to Hewitt, he does well to get back and secure possession.
Yeah, quick question for you. As a hooker, you've just come off the bench, your first line-out, they go to the back.
Yeah, he won't be happy with the line-out call there, and in fairness to D, he's probably only had a handful of line-out throws this week, with obviously still being moved players up until probably yesterday, so yeah, I don't think he'd be too happy with him after the match.
Stand by. That's one, scrum half.
Williams waits, has the warning from the referee. Puts a little bit more on this. Comes out of the air. Here's the try scorer, Angelo Esposito, right winger.
Hands out, Dragons.
Sets the ruck.
Push.
Slowly, Benetton look to make a couple of extra meters just to give scrum half Petrozzi opportunity to play the kicking game. It's a very well measured kick. Well, the chase wasn't very good. Williams managed to gather it. His halfback partner Boddicker does well. No one clears up. Williams now back in position, organising, has Fairbrother on hand, misses him and finds Reynolds. Fine game from the front rower so far.
Use it! Stay chaser.
No real option for Williams, has to go to the box. Well, that's in that 5-metre channel, and the chase is good. It does well. But it is Benetton who come away with it via their impressive number 8 Toa Alafihi. Slow ball, Petrozzi just offloads to Herbst. No man's land really between the two 10-metre line. Slightly aerial. Oh, it's missed by everyone. Fairbrother does well. Boddicker. A little bit of space for Talbot Davis. Fullback places the ball for Williams. Boddicker goes high. chase comes back. Ioane did very well. Ball drifted away from him slightly, but the winger kept composure, kept hold of the ball. Warren does his best to strip it, but it is Benetton who take the ball to ground. Petrozzi will start again via second row. There in the Ernst. Well, that's out. Good work between Fairbrother and I think it was Griffiths, but it does favour Benetton. Dixon makes the tackle on Halafihi. Oh, good tackle coming in from Tame Basham. That's a huge tackle. Creates the turnover.
It's that man
and
again,
that sort of
isn't
thing changes games.
Yes, definitely. Had a great hit just before half-time, which resulted in a try for Williams, and again bringing that line speed, that physicality, and forcing an error.
Yeah, it was a big hit on a loose head prop as well. You know, you expect the the Martin Williams of sevens to be like hands, fairy liquid hands as they call him all over, but he's not. He can mix it up with the dirty stuff. But World Book Day yesterday, and he read it like a book as well. He comes straight off the line and big turnover. It gives the Dragons a good position.
I gave him permission. It's all right.
Well, some 3,823 people have come out to see that man perform tonight and to watch this game, which so far has been a very entertaining game.
Time on.
Plenty of tries.
Back half a step, I'm going to come this side.
Plenty of endeavour, and you would have to say Dragons with a bit to do, but certainly a game that either side can win.
Yeah,
the Dragons are showing good glimpses now, whereas two quick tries you thought, right, okay, they're up against it tonight. The confidence might be a bit low with players missing and and everything else that's gone on, but they clawed their way back into the game. It's a shame that they give them that last try away, but they're scrambling well at times as well. They've stopped a few tries which look to be fair efforts from Benetton, but they've got a good scrum here and a good platform. They've performed well in the scrum so far tonight as well.
Well, interestingly, the Dragons do go right, and Benetton had stacked the blind side. It was 5-on-3 on the left-hand side of the scrum for the Dragons. Scrum was wheeled such though to force the Dragons
clean out by Black 6
down
use of the
blind
clean
side.
Out, use of the shoulder and the clean out. I'm going to put it on the screen for you.
all right.
Well, referee
Check something. Hang on.
said a little word in his ear.
Show it on the screen to you now, George.
It's Harrison Keddy, I think, is being pulled.
He certainly flew into that ruck. It'd be interesting to see this replay. He really
No arm.
didn't seem to. He seemed to tuck in at the last minute.
See that clearly, George?
Yes, Ali.
He hit him sideways
So,
though. It wasn't
he's come
so
in,
much a
dealing with
straight
that
hit.
shoulder.
But yeah, you're right.
Yes.
He's tucked that elbow
It's
in.
on the body of
And
the
it was a
player,
hard
is it, Ali?
angle for him to
Correct,
hit,
yes.
but
Alright,
by the letter of the
number
law,
6 black,
you
so
could
it's on
understand
the
him being
body.
pulled
Yes.
up, but he
Guideline is
didn't
yellow card for
have
that.
much of an
Yes.
angle to get in there.
Get no problem.
Well,
Number
cool.
6.
First time the card I saw came out
Number
then was
6.
red, but I think it will be yellow.
Do you know what? I don't
Leading
think
with
it's
the
a yellow
shoulder to the
card.
body.
Okay, we're talking letter of the law here, but I think that's a little bit harsh. It was a bit of a funny angle. He's come and he's tucked. It wasn't. He didn't injure the player. It wasn't it wasn't anything that looked too reckless. No one flew out the ruck.
Kicker, sorry,
He's just got his
You're
footwork
standing
wrong
there,
going in
that's
there.
not
But a shame for Keddy there because he's been having a solid game so far.
I think in fairness to George Clancy, he's backed into a corner there, isn't he? You look at the footage, you see the arm tucked, you go in, there's no arm tempted. I think it was very difficult for him to do anything other, and the Dragons will miss that man because he's been part of a very, very good back row for the home side.
Step in at the back, please.
To work overtime now, Griffiths and Basham. Maravali finds his jumper. Dragons stop the momentum of bringing that ball down. Rutsa, the open side, just makes a couple of metres. Petrozzi, ball eventually finds its way to Lamaro. Good tackle coming in from Griffiths, taking the challenge now as the back row is down a man. Petrozzi again. Sterling defensive work from the Dragons. Keatley, little show and go. Excellent defence from Fairbrother again. Put his body on the line a few times this evening. Well, he's done very well. Couple that with Joe Davis, and they really have worked overtime.
It took so long to give that penalty. I think the fans' voices were going to wear out at one point. They were shouting for so long that he was on that ball, but he stayed rock solid on it, got the turnover. It's a big turnover, but the Dragons will actually be kicking themselves, Matt, because first half Fairbrother tucked his arm in, didn't wrap, and he gave us 3 points away. And now Keddy in the bin, but he was on that over the top of a pile of bodies. Even looking up is Ollie Griffiths, I think I can see there, and really good turnover. Really relieve the pressure when you're down a man as well. As huge moments in the game.
Well, changes coming for the visitors. Amir Faiva and Federico Zani will come on in the front row.
I know what you're saying.
For Benetton. A little bit of treatment.
He just transferred it away.
To second row Arabs, but he's back up onto his feet.
Off the mark.
Confirmation of those changes.
Simon.
Baravale there, one of the try scorers this evening. What a good shift in for Benetton.
Off the mark, there you go. Yeah.
That responsibility now lies with Welsh international Elliot Dee. Good ball off the top. Whip down to Williams, who took it on the second attempt and did well to find his outside half partner. They'll pick up and go. It's that go forward that Dee gives you. Well, and you can see what it means to the Benetton side. Pats on the back all round, and immediately Federico Zani involved in the action. Good work initially from Dee.
Yeah, he just got isolated there, Matt.
And he does well. He does well to get back off the floor. No tackle weren't held, and then all of a sudden just loses that support, and good turnover by Benetton.
Yeah, I couldn't quite see it. Didn't seem like he was supporting his own body weight at one point, so I thought the penalty was going to go the other way, but the referee was right there. They've missed touch.
Well, Williams does well. Keatley missing touch. Only found Williams. Williams happy to put it downfield, but it is the Italians on the front foot again into the Dragons' half. Keatley nudges it through. There was not much space there. I think that it is Adam Warren. Just lets that ball go over the touchline. Under close attention from Monty Ioane. Short line from the Dragons. Dee again goes to the back. It's not clean. It's Griffiths, finds Boddicker. Boddicker downfield. Sperandillo. He's happy to put the ball towards the Dragons' posts. Now that stays, well, I was going to say if it stays in the field of play, it's not a bad kick at all.
22.
They'll still make 30 or 40 metres though, and get the ball back because it'll be a dropout 22 to the Dragons. Well, Dragons so far weathered half of the yellow card 10-minute storm. Esposito takes it forward. Petrozzi, well, mistake in midfield. Now can the Dragons capitalise on that? Good scrambling on the floor. That's excellent play. Williams, nobody home, kicks over the top. Was that the right option? That's a huge punt downfield, and it is Williams who regathers possession. High ball from the scrum half and captain. Follows up his own kick, and it is Benetton looking to escape their 22. Well, they do manage to get that ball away. A little bit of space on this near side. Flick out the back door. Oh, a lovely little flick up off the floor by Keatley, and again out the back door finds the hands of Zanon. Petrozzi plenty of players available, and he finds Federico Zani. Replacement scrum half is there again, fires it back to Keatley. Keatley cross-field, bisects the space between Boddicker and Hewitt, and it is the latter. Hewitt picks up a little bit of space for the left winger, does well, makes 10-15 metres, needs support now. It doesn't arrive, and you can hear the calls of the Benetton players, almost willing the referee to blow his whistle for a penalty. Just needed some support, didn't he, Ashton? Hewitt?
Yeah, he did. Unfortunately, got to low by halfie here again. Been instrumental to Benetton this evening, but look, I think it's a case of probably need to kick that rather than try and run it out the own 22. Don't forget they are down a man, so they just need to make sure they box clever you.
Yeah, sort of running, trying to make the break, so you can't dissuade him from that. But then he got caught with 3 players. They didn't seem to be supporting their own body weight there with that one, but they're getting the decision. If you've got 3 players around the ball with one, then that's what's going to happen. They've got to have a little bit of game intelligence here. I think Tame Basham's just receiving a bit of treatment and hobbling back there, but they just need to weather this storm and keep that scoreboard in the right place to get back to 15 men.
I think that's Josh Reynolds, who is having a little bit of treatment near the touchline on the far side, and I wouldn't mind taking a wild guess that he spotted Basham down before this line-out took place. And if he did, he's having an even better game.
Yeah, come on, that's perfect.
Well, the crowd comes to life, trying to get behind their side. Paiva at the base pulls it back with Trotzi. Keatley, dancing feet from the outside half, met by his opposite number.
Tackle! Knee in the ground, tackle!
He does get his knee down.
It's just players.
Well, the ball isn't coming out with there. You have to credit Keatley there. He was surrounded by Boddicker and 2 or 3 other Dragons players, and he managed to get his knee down, which was the all-important aspect of that.
Yeah, it's a place that a 10 doesn't really want to find himself, is it? Normally, is it like in American football, they just slide and say, no, come on, let's take the touch. I got the different colour shorts on, but he did very well, very brave. You would say they were circling, the enemy was circling, and he managed to get away with it. But I thought there might be a turnover there. The fans are really shouting for it on the other side, but no decision given. But it gives Benetton, I think, a scrum about 15 metres out, so in a really good position. It's just. It's quite central. They got 2 big wide open spaces to play with.
The 2 outside halves just giving each other a little tap on the back and just checking they were both all right, because they've just both been in a mall.
It's just, scary, isn't it? Probably that's what he's saying. Don't go in there too often, mate.
Do you know, it was the one thing as a back you found it. If you went in a mall and held on to the ball, first of all, you thought you were great because you held on. You were hopeless for the next 5 minutes, so I doff my cap to you forwards for doing that all game and then expecting to run around.
Well, Keatley actually got involved with the driving line-out that ended up in the try. I'm not saying he actually. Yeah, he brushed up against it with his shorts.
He was in attendance. Now there's probably a 20-metre blind side for Benetton to work on the right-hand side.
Get into it.
They do have strike runners out there.
Scrum down at Luke's head.
Esposito hugging that far touchline. And what that does, it'll keep Ashton Hewitt honest. He has to stay on his place, and on the near side, that man there. So Benetton, using the full width of the pitch, to really ask questions of the Dragons' defence.
Yeah, Matt, I can see. I think Benetton going for the scrum as well to really make that back row honest and make sure that now they're holding these touch lines that they get every bit of space that they can.
Good strike ball to the base. Excellent drive from Benetton. Advantage is being played. Ball is kicked through. 24 points to 13. Surely here now you keep the scoreboard ticking over. You go for the points. You add another 3 to the total.
Yeah, Dragons have still got the bin in, so I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, it would stretch the lead, and as you said, Andy, they are sort of pointing. I didn't know whether they were going to try and make that one-man advantage pay even more, but the first time the Dragons scrum have been demolished, but with Keddy in the bench in the bin, they were down a man there, so they were up against it.
Well, the one thing you do say is that you've got an opportunity. If the ball is on the field of play, you have an opportunity even with a man down. When the ball is 20 foot over your head going through the uprights, there's nothing you can do about it.
The hard thing for the back row is they had so much space to cover there. To get them to give their, every ounce of weight, Matt, it's a tough call, because their eye is they don't want to be done on the outside, but they had to sort of knuckle down there.
Keatley strikes it, flags go up, another 3 points to the total, 27 points to 13 now, the visitors lead.
Yeah, it's coming up to 60 minutes now, and the Dragons need a reaction. They need to get back up to 15 first, which there's not long left on the clock, I don't think. But they need to get back up, get some position, get some territory, some possession, and territory, and start launching a few of their own attacks. They've shown how well they can run, and they're making clean breaks. They need more ball.
Well, Dragons back up to the full complement. Brandon Nance coming on, and also Keddy, having spent time in the bin, not returned to the field of play. Well, the Dragons traditionally finish strong, and they'll have to again. 14 points now, the deficit. High ball, well chased by Talbot Davis. He'll come back on the Benetton side. And you can see Luca Petrozzi, replacement for scrum half Charlie Trussardi, just happy to use the boot, put it into the box. Probably longer than he wanted it to be. Fielded by his opposite number, Williams, goes downfield, does well to keep that in the field of play, under a little bit of pressure.
Wait, Green, wait.
A little bit of kick tennis now, and it's all about who blinks first. Rosser puts the ball downfield over the head of Keatley. Don't want that to go over the dead ball line, as it'll come all the way back.
Just inside his own half, George.
Well, it was the right idea. The ball was into space. He had to find grass, but unfortunately, bounce of the ball has taken it over the dead ball line, and they'll come back all the way to the Dragons' half.
He got caught in two minds there, Matt, didn't he? He was, didn't know whether to run, kick, and the defence weren't up in a line on him, so you just forced the error from them there. Just sort of angled the ball too far in field, and the roll of the ball didn't help him. And actually, on a bit of a soggier ground, it sort of sprinted on. But those little mistakes, they need to cut out. They've got 20 minutes now, Matt, and they really need to get that sort of possession in the right areas.
Yeah, it's cost them, isn't it? Them just unforced errors, and unfortunately, there again, ball goes dead, and gives an opportunity now for Benetton to exit. But I think the Dragons just need to be mindful. There is plenty of time on the clock, and just making sure, like you say, he's getting that possession and territory back.
Well, Lewis Evans on the pitch now. Need all his experience. He's captained the side before, and is imparting his knowledge now to the boys on the field. Well, along with Brandon Nansen, the Samoan international wearing the number 19. Need to get the ball into these guys' hands.
Okay. We're going to be able to continue now for 20 minutes to go here.
Lewis Evans has been a fantastic player for the region here. He's he's there week in, week out. He's loyal as they come, and he's a very proficient player as well. Tackles very well, got lovely hands. Goes by the nickname Shanksy, and likes to sit at times back in the olden days. He's obviously changed and reformed now.
Why
like
do you
the
look
rest
at
of
me
us.
there?
But he put some big shifts in here, and he's come through different injuries, come back, and really worn the shirt well. So a lot of experience from Lewis Evans here. So we need every ounce of that experience, and sort of game management, and the right decisions to be made, and the mistakes cut down to get themselves back in this game.
Well, the scrum will take place from the spot that Jared Rosser kicked the ball.
Ball in and out.
And it will be replacing scrum half Luca Petrozzi to introduce the ball. Well, the visitors keen to make it 4 from 5 at Rodney Parade. And the Dragons, I'm sure. Should they win, we'll make it 6 on the bounce. And 7 from 8. Actually, no, 8 from 9.
They need to come up with some big moments here. Again, they got Elliot D on the pitch, really experienced player now, a leader, and Lewis Evans the same. Tane Basham, the youthful exuberance of Tane Basham. They need to make things happen. They need the big turnover that he had earlier on in the game. They need those turnovers. They need to get the ball in their hands, and like the likes of Reynolds, get him running with the ball. We've seen what he can do in a bit of space. They really need to turn the tide now. They're back up the full complement. They've got under 20 minutes now to really make it pay.
Well, this is exactly what the Dragons don't want, and really, Benetton won't be too worried about this. The clock is ticking, it's a little bit of disruption. They've got that 14-point advantage.
Yeah, they'll be happy. They're not going to rush this game, are they? Like the Dragons trying to play the clock down for the sin bin, they're going to be the same thing. They've got a good lead advantage off that penalty, and I can't see anything too flashy from them.
Well, I know that Kieran Crowley and the rest of the coaching staff were disappointed after the Blues game, put themselves in a great position and then couldn't finish it off. And I'm sure those thoughts now will be going back to that Blues game and what they have to do to see the game out. Simple play then from Benetton, happy to plug the touchlines, put the ball over the touchline and just say to the Dragons, look, here we are, we're back in your half, you do something.
And that's all they need to do, Andy, isn't it? I think obviously just under 20 minutes left, and they're going to ask the Dragons to play out there because they've got to do something here now to get back in the game.
Well, this could be the opportunity. Boddicker has been very good with the boot, both off the tee and out of hand. And actually, I have to say, for his first Guinness Pro 14 start, he's been very, very assured indeed.
Yeah, I hope with you, I'm going to curse him there as he was taking a kick. As soon as the commentator normally says something like that, he normally slices one into midfield. But yeah, he's been very solid. He was unlucky with the one kick that just drifted onto the upright and come off. Otherwise, he'd have a really good kicking record tonight as well.
Good ball off the top from Lewis Evans. Oh, into midfield, and it was Ollie Griffiths, didn't quite hang on to it. Benetton front foot now through centre. Oh, Ignacio Brex. Advantage is over, calls the referee. Esposito offloads. They do well to keep that ball in the field of play. Plenty of runners offering themselves. Griffiths looking to make amends, makes the tackle in midfield. Lovely little slip ball. And that's a great break again, coming from Faiva. Ball fired out into the hands of Zanon. Tackle down to the ground. Sperandillo and Ioane could do the role of clearers out, but it is now Ioane, ball in hand, back up on his feet, takes the tackle, places the ball for his scrum half. Second row, Snyman. Again, Benetton building. Alafihi makes another couple of metres. Keatley, wide ball. Well, did that go forward? Referee was looking at it hard. On this near side, Josh Reynolds is down. He's in a little bit of trouble, just back up onto his feet, but is hobbling gingerly over towards the play. Well, a little nudge through. Reynolds will have to make a tackle, he slips. Ioane, 2 steps off that left foot, and that certainly did there. Josh Reynolds a plot forward, no good at all. Well, he's in the defensive line. Unable to do much at the moment. I think he is struggling. To turn over, Williams looks to bring it out. Tackle is made by Erna Ernst for Benetton. Williams again. It's the dig, it is slow ball. Just drifted out. That's coming from Dixon. Slow for the Dragons, which means that it's not that difficult for Benetton to defend. A little bit of input now trying to be injected into this game by the Dragons. Williams at the feet, but he has to dig through it again. It's holding on at the base. Referee right on the spot, and it is turning out to be very, very difficult for the Dragons to get out of their own half.
Yeah, you're going to be frustrated if you're Dean Ryan at the moment. An opportunity off that turnover to put an extra pass in to get width, and it was on. I think it was 4-1-3 or a 4-1-2 out wide, but they carry up again. And in fairness to Benetton, they do well to get the turnover out wide.
Yeah, they just seem to be trying to force it there a little bit. They didn't quite have a flow going through it. They were trying to force it. You could see that they were getting isolated, and when they sniff this, especially the way the scoreboard is, you can see Keatley earlier on from the one set play, and he was just happy to kick the ball through into the 22, make the Dragons play from their own half. And with a 14-point lead, that's exactly what they're going to do. Make the Dragons play, just keep the territory, keep the territory in their favour, and they'll just defend and look to hoover up any mistakes and any scrappy penalties. This is what is going to keep them in the game, and they don't have to play too much rugby now. The Dragons do.
Well, Keatley looking to add another 3 points to his total and the team's total. Another good performance from the outside half.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough for the Dragons currently, isn't it? They're trying to chase the game a bit now because they are behind a couple of scores, and that's making errors in the game.
Yeah, they had a big one, Volley Griffiths in midfield there. That drop ball, they just didn't quite get their timings right on it, and Keatley, squeezes it over the post. Dear me.
Well, you don't get any extra points for going further, do you? It only has to go over that bar, and the captain leads by example, adds another 3 points to his total and the team's total. It's 30 points to 13 in favour of the visitors, and a personal haul of 15 points so far for the outside half.
Yeah, we were having a chat earlier on, weren't we, and the spine of the team and the experience they gives, and he's given exactly that. He's putting them in the right positions, kicking the goals when they're on offer. A very good performance.
Well, the restart taken by Arwell Robson, back from his lone spell at Jersey. On the field of play here. He's looking to change the fortunes of the Dragons. But it is the Italians in the box seat. Lovely take out of the air by Talbot Davis. There's confirmation Josh Reynolds has been replaced by Conor Maguire rather. The tackle coming in on Rossa. Patinelli coming on in the back row for Michele Lamaro. Williams eventually does get that ball away. Chase coming in from Robson. That should come back on the Benetton side despite the work of the Dragons forwards. Williams does well, slides, takes it exceptionally well, finds his fullback. Talbot Davis look to find grass. And it is Esposito Sperandillo. Excellent chase coming from Aston Hewitt. Wow, they say about chasing a lost cause, and that was great work from Aston Hewitt. The try eventually coming by fullback Will Talbot Davis. But you have to say, great work from the winger.
Yeah, it's all cliche now, the kick is only as good as his chase, and in fairness to Talbot, does well, chases a kick, and Aston Hewitt does as well. He does well, brings that line speed, forces the pass in field, and Talbot's there to clean up and score the try in the corner.
I looked at you then, smile a bit, and we both looked at each other and huffed, because the kick looked like a nothing kick. And we're like, the Dragons need to keep the ball in their hands, surely they need to score tries, and it looked like such a nothing kick. We both sighed, and then 5-6 seconds later we're proved spectacularly wrong. He follows it up, Ashton Hewitt great, and Talbot Davis is on there to mop it up, but something out of nothing there. But yeah, perseverance was the key for them.
That is a great strike as well. Hadn't been on the pitch too long. First real moment he's asked to perform, and he does just that from the touchline, adds the extra points.
They needed that, and the Dragons just getting a bit of confidence going into the last 10 minutes of the game. 10 points behind.
Yeah, Aaron Jarvis said at half-time they want to be within a score within the last 5-10 minutes. They need that to be in there, and they've got confidence that they can overturn sides. But they've left themselves a bit of a mountain, but that's exactly the response they wanted. Out of nothing, really. A bad mistake by Benetton, but it's put the Dragons with 10 minutes to go, 10 points to chase.
So if either of you now are captain of the Dragons, what do you say?
Let's play. Let's score another 2 tries and win the game.
down by the Dragons to ask questions now of Benetton. They were comfortable. Suddenly now, 10 points doesn't seem that big a gap. Dragons buoyed with a little bit of confidence after that Will Talbot-Davis try and that excellent touchline conversion from Will Robson. Turnover at the ruck. A couple of these big ball carriers are required to step up to the plate now for the Dragons. Nansen takes it on. Griffiths steps, evades the first tackle, goes to ground. Baldwin. Well, there's an opportunity then for Dixon to pass. Did well though, held on deep into the hands of the try scorer. But Davis takes it, second time of asking, but doesn't lose it forward, more importantly. First pod goes in, tackle comes from Faiva.
No, you're pushing the ball into 20. Play on.
Pettinelli also making a tackle.
Use it!
A little bit of claret for his efforts as well. Baldwin downfield, that stay in. Oh, just drifts over the touchline. It was the right distance, has just drifted over the line. That gives the momentum back to Benetton. They will have possession of this line out.
Yeah, just touched too far. But in fairness to Dragons, they did go through some phases, kept the possession, weren't going anywhere and opted for the box kick, but unfortunately he's straight at the touch.
Just really need the precision on that skill execution, don't they? They really need to sort of regain the ball. It's less than 8 minutes left for them to win this game. They need the ball in the right area. They need big moments, and things like that are just keeping Benetton in the game. They're just going down, taking knees, having little bits of treatment. They want to slow this game down. The Dragons need to up the intensity now.
Ian McKinley, Italian international, with those familiar goggles now to protect his eye after having a serious eye injury. And confirmation, Edwards on for Dixon in the midfield for the Dragons. No engagement there. Tackle comes in from Lewis Evans eventually.
Use it!
I wouldn't expect the ball to go too far away from this forward pack now.
Stay chaser.
In the last 7.5 minutes.
George, late tackle by Black. Late tackle by Black on the kicker.
Well, there's a
late
call.
Tackle by Black on the kicker.
Call to the referee for a late tackle by Black.
I thought when Dee made the tackle on 9, it was late, and obviously it's been picked up. Just again a cheap penalty, easy out for Treviso.
16.
Well, at a moment where you're looking to put pressure on the opposition, you need to get down the other end of the field. You're 10 points down. To give away a soft penalty, as you say, releases the pressure. I am surprised they're going for the corner, unless they're looking, well, bonus point, but
6 minutes to go with a bonus point. With the Dragons, they can really sort of really look back. The Lloyd Fairbrother sort of penalty in front of the post, the Keddy Sinbinin, penalties that they've given here, and they really need to nail these big moments. That kick just going straight to the touch has given them the position. It's they can look back through analysis and see where they need to improve at areas.
Alapihi was playing the half-back role. He takes it on. He's in there somewhere. Still they go on their feet looking towards that try. They're looking to get that bonus point and possibly secure the win. Clancy is there on his knees. He sees the ball go down. The Italians from Benetton are cheering. It is a replacement, I believe. Jaime Paiva, another try, a bonus point, and you feel really that's the game.
That is the game, unfortunately. We were asking the question why they're going to the corner, and that's the reason why. And again, it's taken them 74 minutes, but they've got the bonus point, and it's that man again who's been instrumental this season for them, Faiva.
Oh, it was the same for me.
Scores another try from, 5 metres out. So
I think that's
adding
his
to
13th try.
Again, yeah, and I can guarantee you, and
On your call, George.
I reckon 12 of them has definitely come from 5 metres out the back of the line out.
Well, as we say about the kick-in, and it's only just got to go over the post for 3 or 2 points. You've only just got to get over the line. Doesn't matter how far you've come from.
Yeah, they threw the dice there, didn't they? They were quite, they knew there wasn't long left. The Dragons had made a few mistakes, and Yeah, in fairness, it would have been easy because the way Keatley's kicking, he'd have got that penalty easy enough. But they wanted to go for the bonus point. It was good ambition by them. They went there, they executed it superbly well. They were really controlled in how they did it, and they got that ball across the line unequivocally and put themselves in a fantastic position.
But again, it's just come from a poor, cheap penalty from D. No need of it, and that's been the highlight for me for tonight. The Dragons just soft errors, discipline has been poor for them, and it's just fed Benetton into possession and territory.
So the Dragons try and switch play. They've gone onto the right there, and they've regained possession. They really are. With minutes to go, with 5 minutes to go in the driving seat, I can't imagine them trying to play too much. They were going to get the possession. The Dragons have to play now.
Dragons up to the halfway line. Up against it now, 17 points down, 2 tries scored, 4 minutes left of play time. Griffiths still go forward, still running. Edwards is in there, but it's hands over the top for the try scorer. 6 tries in 8 games now for Faiva. Little offload into midfield. Well, still they go. Little offload again to Warren. Switch play. The Benetton defence stands firm though. They feel that they're on the verge of another away win. Ball is nudged through and it's cleared. Well, and it is cleared by the outside half, Ian Keatley, and it's this at this moment it's an opportunity to ask Matthew, who do you think your player of the match is this season?
Well, Halafihi has been instrumental along with Ioni as well, but it's that number 10, Ian Keatley, who's controlled things from the 10 spot tonight. His execution with his kicking game, and he's pretty much delivered a strong performance. So he's my man of the match tonight.
Well, Ian Keatley, Guinness Pro 14 player of the game. 17 points to his total, and really as captain has led from the front and has guided his team to what will be a very well worked away victory. Dragons, the ball is in there, they'll drive, can they finish with something?
Advantage!
Basham offloads to Baldwin. Advantage still being played by referee Clancy. Penalty comes surely, they'll just go quickly. Baldwin, well, they'll go to the corner now. Slowed right down.
2 minutes, George, 2 minutes.
2 minutes left of play. Robson puts the ball over the touchline. One late flourish for the Dragons. Well, Baldwin do everything he can now to organise his forwards to get them over the line to try and add some points to their total. 2 tries they've scored, so unlikely they're going to get a bonus point for a try, all within 7 points of the opposition, but a little bit of pride to play for. They come off the back of that run via D, pick up from the base. Edwards, the ball goes to floor. Well, Ashton Hewitt off his own wing all the way across the far side. Jared Ross is there in attendance, as is Luke Baldwin. Baldwin, well, under a little bit of pressure, manages to find Robson. Robson into the hands of Edwards. Straight direct run in from the replacement. Baldwin again. All hands to the pump for Benetton. They're desperate to keep that line intact.
Still advantage.
Still playing advantage. Well, they're grabbing left and right. Elliot D drives, goes low. No surprise that when he gets his hands on the ball, there are 2 or 3 Benetton players there. A little spill forward. They'll go back for the penalty though.
Okay. Time off.
Well, side entry is the call. Corner again, I presume.
Yeah, there's about 11 seconds on the clock, so I assume they're going to go and try and chase this try for a little bit of pride there. Decent attack by the Dragons there, but that mistake just creeping at the end. That's that little bit of extra confidence and that skill execution in that area is imperative if you want to keep those phases going and really stress an opposition.
Well, 10 seconds till the clock goes red. They will play the line out. Last opportunity.
Time is yours, Judge.
Cheers, lad.
For the Dragons. Just to register another try.
Stay at 10 now. Or back on the line, Captain.
D does the first bit. Point Evans. Ball goes down. Maguire at the back. D comes in. As does replacement scrum with Baldwin. Calling for more numbers. You can hear them from here. They're going to get towards that line. A little bit of momentum now from the Dragons. Benetton doing everything they can to stop it. They're over the line. It's scant consolation, but it is another try for the home side. It is the Welsh international Elliot D, released from the Welsh squad, started on the bench, comes on and gets over the try line. But it does no more than close the gap.
Yeah, showing a bit of patience there, didn't they? And could do them calling for the backs, but they didn't want to know, in fairness to the Dragons. But Elliot does well to sneak over.
Yeah, he does well. They did keep control of that. I thought Benetton did try and sort of come a bit illegal at certain points in there, but again, they just sheared off. Elliot just came, and I think there was someone just on his sort of back end pushing him over across, but took the try very well, but all a little bit too too late. But gets the scoreboard taken over. A little bit of pride there, but the Dragons can look back on areas of the game where if they improve some of those mistakes, some of those penalties, they were right in this game. They could have been, as Aaron Jarvis said, within that score with 5 minutes to go. They left themselves too much with silly errors and some lapses.
Well, last piece of action in this Pro 14 game will come from a place on outside half, Owl Robson. It's another good strike, just drifts past the upright. George Clancy puts the whistle to his mouth and blows for the end of the game. And it is another victory for the Italians. They come to Rodney Parade and they continue this very, very impressive away run here in Newport. Disappointing for the Dragons. They lose against a side who score 4 tries and take a bonus point. It was 3 tries for the home side. A valiant effort, but they didn't quite have enough this evening. And the power of the Benetton Rugby forwards took its toll. It is the Dragons 25, Benetton Rugby 37, and it is the Italians that take the spoils. Well guys, sum that one up for us.
Plenty of endeavour by the Dragons tonight, but unfortunately it's just execution and discipline which let them down. And in fairness to Benetton, they kept the scoreboard ticking over from pretty much the first 5 minutes of the game, and like I say, I think the Dragons will be very disappointed with that tonight.
Yeah, they chose some good result to get back into the game. 14 points down to a really good opening try by Benetton. Then a meet and drink to the forwards try with forwards and backs. They had 10 or 11 people in that driving more. They got back in, but just the mistakes, just sort of game management.